Hello, everybody. Oops. Boom, boom. I am in the middle of getting TikTok pulled up. How's everybody doing? I'm gonna also open this up on Zoom because I know we kind of have that going. I've been back and forth on the Zoom. I'm gonna make sure that we have the Zoom open and capable in case we need to like share stuff. Like it'd be nice if anybody wants to share what they're working on and stuff like that. Yeah. Click on that link for me. Okay, I'm opening up the Zoom. And then we'll get started. Yes, this virtual camera. There we go. Huh. That's okay. Alright, already. I don't need you to take notes, Zoom. Don't be weird. Hello, Meg. Alright. I'm gonna open up the chat on the Zoom so I can see that in case anybody is there. I'm gonna make sure the chat... My goodness. All these screens are really big for me. It's kind of crazy. I'm going to make sure that the chat is visible for us. This is why that's happening. There we go. Okay. What was I saying? Oh, by the way, today I am totally not in the headspace for super organized thoughts flowing, if you can't tell. Okay. I have, let me see. Oh, I forgot to finish making sure this was up. Oh my god, I know it's casual, but he doesn't have to be all loud. It's all right. Okay. Let me see. Sorry, guys. Yeah, I have to turn my sound down, otherwise I hear myself. You know, I don't mind like listening back to myself when I'm editing, but I cannot stand other people listening to a recording of me, like me watching someone else watch a recording of me. That is the most asinine thing that I like ever, and it feels so awkward and weird. I hate it. So whenever I'm like aware of other people hearing me hear me, oh, I don't know, it just gives me the heebie-jeebies. What happened to... Oh, that's what happened to it. I made it go away. Okay. Let me do this really quick. Move you. Oh god, not like that. Get out of here. Move you and then move you here like this. That'll just have to work. Okay, how is everybody? I don't know how everybody is. Saturn and Mercury are both retrograde right now, so words are not wording in any structured way. I know. I am like, I'm really like this close, which is really close to moving, just having us do The Wizard of Oz, the full book at the end of August. Because like every time I put my attention to book club, it's all thoughts just drop. And I'm like, oh my God. And I feel like absolute, like a pull, like a resistance. And I'm like, what is that? You know, normally I wait until I'm closer to, but like it's been so, it's like everything has just been so up in the air. And you know, I'm okay with going with the flow. And then there's a certain point where I, as a resident Taurus sun, is like, you know, hey, can we like get some order around here? Can things get a little bit more structured around here? And the answer is always no. Hi, it's been a heavy emotional day over here, just trying to float. We came to the right place because we're just doing more art. You know, the day has been, I will say this, there has been a lot of heavy emotion that feels like I'm supposed to be sad. I'm supposed to be feeling terrible. I'm supposed to be fully feeling like down. It always comes in too towards the evenings, I notice, where it's like I'm shifting from being kind of productive, and if I'm tired, like I'm like, okay, I'm done doing things. Now I'm just going to relax. It's almost like wanting to relax. There's like this push, like, oh, relaxing is gonna be terrible. I'm gonna feel horrible. I'm gonna feel so like there's nothing in my life. And it's like, oh, this is so weird. Where is this energy coming from? And I thought it was TikTok because everyone's miserable on TikTok. I was like, oh God, you know. But I don't think it's necessarily that. It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird. I'm not gonna lie. So that's kind of floating around. And what else? What else? So it said Jupiter Kazemi did some shit to the Schumann resonance too. Oh yeah, didn't it? Honestly, the Schumann's been going off like a lot, a lot, a lot. Every day. Every day. And I'm at the point where I think I'm so like I'm in a stasis, like I'm so used to it that I'm just like, huh, it's not as bad because like, I'm used to it maybe. Or maybe I'm on the other side of it. I don't know. But like all of the things are meh, you know. Now there's it's I can liken this to right after giving birth, like when you push something out, there's this massive release, like, oh, this impending doom is now behind me. Because you've officially pushed the bowling ball out of the hoo-ha. Okay. And then like everything's really great, and then reality settles in. Like your body's just like, "Ah." And you're like, "Oh, I'm exhausted and I don't want to move because moving feels like I'm going to feel something I don't want to feel." And like things are going to be wet and just like drippy, and everything's just terrible cuz you're still like bleeding after birth. Your body is still flushing, you're getting fevers and stuff because your body's having to re-regulate and everything, so everything is just like ah, like right after being sick, but there's no illness. There is just the body working, 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 working. And it's such a like gross feeling, postpartum of the spirit. Yeah, it's such a gross feeling, and then like you have these little moments interspersed in where you're like, oh look, the baby is awake. Hello. Oh, he's asleep again. Oh, there he goes. Hello. Hello. And that's all I got for you. It's just hello. I don't really know what else to talk to you about. You seem like you're settling into this place. I don't want to overwhelm you, but also at the same time, is this all you're going to do for a while? Just lay there and look at me? Kind of. It seems like you're kind of looking past me. Oh, is he asleep? Oh, okay. That's kind of how that feels. And then, like, that was 5 minutes. Now back to post birth. Now your mind's back on the ew, the ew, the ew. So that's kind of like the energy feels like that. Like every now and again I stop and I'm like, whoa, look at this thing growing. Whoa. Interesting. Is it ever going to move? Like, is it ever going to do anything besides be growing here? Yeah, that's just kind of like the vibe. And, yeah, I try to make it a bit more positive for people by talking about, like, the positive functions and this and that. And then there's just the wading through it. It's like, ew, we're just wading through it. Quick side question: was the same Midnight Scholar Society inspired by Are You Afraid of the Dark? Oh, the name? No, actually, it was inspired because, like, well, one, I talk mostly about what is considered occult things. So this is something that happens in the night, and it's this a scholar because all of this is with scholarly pursuit. So we search into the unknown with scholarly pursuit and society because that was kind of the better organizational name. I didn't like guild. I don't like things that speak to hierarchy necessarily because this is more like a library of stored archived information. And a lot of it's just my like IP, my intellectual property, like my thoughts and digestion and any philosophies that I come up with and stuff, they just kind of sit here. Um and it's a curation of things, but it's also an amalgamation of others. You know what I mean? Like a society is built up of more than one person. And sometimes for me, the society is not only the people who come through and interact with it, because your interacting with you changes me, but it's also all of the spirits. I mean, I do a lot of occult work. We're working all the time with non visible beings. And so, it kind of encompasses them, society, that name. Now, Are You Afraid of the Dark? Funny enough, the writer of that series, DJ McHale, was one of my favorite childhood writers. He wrote the Pendragon series, and when I was about 18, I think I found his email address and I sent him a message about becoming a writer, and I asked if he had any advice, and he gave me really great advice, and he was a really great person. And I think I mailed him after I published my first book, just to let him know that his advice was very helpful and thoughtful. And he had a very great, very nice, well-mannered response. I say that because, so many times people have terrible author stories, and he was really great. I had a great interaction with someone who inspired me, and he was the person who wrote Are You Afraid of the Dark? He also did Flight 29 Down. That had, what's his name, Corbin Blue in it. I only know that as a fun fact because he was really popular at the time. But that was also DJ McHale. He always was exploring, especially with young teens, the concept of liminal spaces and walking between realms and going between worlds and being of importance in one realm, even if you appear not to be of importance in your own, and what that looks like, and how important people are behind the scenes and things like that. I never finished the series because I was waiting for the books to come out. They were coming out every year or 2 years or so. And I always meant to, but I didn't. And now I got to go read the whole thing. I got to get his series again. But yeah, funny enough, he was the author of Are You Afraid of the Dark? So, in some ways, the Midnight Scholar Society's name was not inspired by that, but I have been inspired on my journey by the author of Are You Afraid of the Dark? So, that's something. I shouldn't say author. He worked on the TV series. I don't know if he was producer, writer. I don't know actually. But I think he had a pretty big hand in it. Let's see. So, isn't that funny? Yes and no. Trying myself, and I'll say, oh, here we go. I'm not away. Okay. Oh my God, I'm glad I'm not alone feeling this way. I thought it was just for me. Like I've been messing up somehow and trapping myself in the old timeline. Yeah, no, old timelines are popping up. Oh, how about let me, before I dive into all that, I'm just gonna kind of open us up to doing our art. So, um, you all know, I last time we were sketching, and you kind of had 2 weeks to kind of get a sketch together. Mine's really simple. I just did mine actually yesterday. We were watching Mario, the new movie. It was really shitty. Anyways, my son was disappointed, but we enjoyed ourselves. And I sketched this out in my traveler's notebook. I sketched out my version. You guys can kind of see a little bit of it on screen. I'll make sure you guys can get better views and stuff as we go. But I just kind of sketched mine out. And yeah, let me see. I like this down here. Down the bottom's probably my favorite part because it's the sands of time next to the river Styx. This is where all the dead are. And then this is the sands of time is like when you're walking away from all of the dead and the memory and into the realm of into you're going through heaven's gate. So this is like in the lower underworld, the underbelly, so to speak. And this isn't necessarily just what I've made up the sands of times. I've had experiences there before I knew of the actual mythological place. The first time I saw the sands of time mythologically was like with the title and everything was Moon Knight. Moon Knight, is that what it's called? The show. Moon Knight. Anyways, Khonshu, something like Khonshu, the Kingdom of Khonshu. Anyways, it's on Disney Plus, but it's part of the Marvel series, and they borrowed the mythology and stuff, and I was like, whoa, that was the first time it was up in my face, and I was like, holy shit, I've been there. And stuff like that. So it's kind of it's a very deep liminal space where one has to pass through being, getting weighed and stuff like that. Anyways, I'll dive into all of my little things in a minute. But I had a lot of fun sketching this out. So I'm just going to do some color on it. I'm not going to put it on anything bigger than this. I actually like the idea that it's kind of somewhere, and it's on the front page too of my new journal that I'm working with for August. And I like that. So I'm just going to put some color to it. I'm going to work with just 3 colors and just do some little accents or something like that. And adorn it. So whatever else everybody else is working on, if you want to share, by all means drop it in the comment section. Any pictures that you're working on, you can drop them in that way. if you want to share your screen, like if you're doing something digitally or something like that, you guys can do that in Zoom or on the Patreon chat if you want to. Just know that if you share it, other people are probably going to see it. So, that's just the automatic. And then I'm going to actually, we can post on the Discord. I'll link that really quick. If you want to share a write up and write for me, I'm coming home. Wait for me. I think everybody can see this. Okay, view channel. There we go. Oh, I totally forgot to fix the permissions on this. Wait for me. I'm coming home. Wait for me. Wait for me. Create public threads, send messages. There we go. There we go. There we go. I hear the walls repeating, echoing a song. It sounds like drumming. Okay, I'm gonna share. Can I share this link? What the fuck? Oh, invites. Here we go. And we are not alone. I hear the walls. Send a server link to a friend. Maybe this? Sorry, guys. I'm like slightly Discord illiterate sometimes. I mean also to tidy up the Discord in some kind of way. Eventually, one day, we'll get there. I was gonna say, I just saw Hades Town, huh? Oh, on Tuesday. Oh, Meg, for real? So many people have been watching it lately, and it's that song has been hitting me so much too. I think there's a personal message in it for me as much as it's been chasing me down. Wait for me, I'm coming home. Maybe that's like a Who is that? Because this is. Wait. I hear the walls repeating, echoing sounds like drumming, and we are not alone. I hear the rocks and stones calling out a song. I'm coming. I'm trying to figure out what frequency that's coming in on. I know that's paused me. I said, that must have been so like, whoa, why the pause? No, but that's coming in on a certain frequency. Now that I'm thinking about it, it's coming in on a frequency. And I'm trying to figure out what frequency that is. I almost want to say Pluto in Aquarius, but that's got a lot going on. I'm coming. I hear the walls repeating, echoing a song. When is Pluto out of retrograde? It sounds like drumming, and we are not alone. I hear the rocks and stones echoing a song. Is that like October? I'm coming. What happens in October? Wait, Mercury goes retrograde again in October? For me? Again? Bitch, what? I'm coming. And then Libra, Venus goes into Libra. Coming. I just feel like, didn't we just get out of Mercury retrograde? And Mercury's in Scorpio. Oh. Wait for me. I'm coming home. Wait for me. All the walls repeating, echoing a song. It sounds like drumming. I think something's happening in October, my friends. There is something very haunting about this. Something haunting always happens to me in October. It's October. But, this sounds like drumming. And that one keeps hitting me. It sounds like drumming, and we are not alone. I hear the walls repeating. Maybe it's the thinning of the veil? What the fuck is going on in October? Whatever it is, it sounds like drumming. What kind of drumming happens in October? I'm in November just to see. I know that something goes retrograde. Is it Saturn? I'm saying all of this. Are you guys also disclosure? My birthday is in October. I don't know. My birthday. Yes, literally for Scorpio season, right? Pluto in Aquarius with full moon in Aquarius this past week too. Yeah, you're right. The full moon did hit. It sounds like drumming, and we are not alone. I hear the rocks and stones. Something about oh, rocks and stones. They do math. Did you know that? Phones. It's on the phones. Oh, rocks and stones. The reason why I say they do math is because your phones are made up of crystals, and that's how like a lot of the you guys have to realize, so like our phone and stuff like that, right? Like this is a black box for the most part. Funny. Oh, maybe this is weird. Anyways, pause, and then I'm gonna get into that, and then go back to the other thing that I was talking about. But pause. Feel free to do your art and to do all of your coloring and stuff like that while I yap. That's all I was gonna say. And then like around 8:15, I'll check in with us all and see where everybody's at, and if anybody wants to share, and if I've colored anything, I'll share. Right? Oh my God, rocks and stones speaking is AI. Yeah, I hear the words repeating, the echo of our song. It sounds like yeah. It's the echoing of our song. So I think it must be something must be happening with AI. I don't know. That's AI repeats us. It's a it exists by repeating, right? Like it consumes and repeats and regurgitates, but it's not quite alive. It doesn't know, it doesn't have knowledge, it just has information. But rocks, we have going back to it, I just put out a some of my letters to Carl Jung. So I write letters to dead authors. They have to be dead while I read. And so this one's I'm forming what I call the green book, because famously he has the red book, which is him documenting his entire mental breakdown. So mine's like a green book. Inversely, I'm documenting the ascent into heaven. While he was documenting the descent into the darkness, into the unknown. Mine's more like homecoming, if that makes sense. So it's just it's a play on the concept, and together we make the rose. Get it? Red and green. It's a rose. Anyways. So I have all these letters going, and in the letters, I was talking an awful lot about TikTok, and I was like, well, what's this guy want to go? Anyways. I was talking about TikTok, but I also discussed the fact that I used to work at Radio Shack, which I've mentioned quite a lot recently. This might be why. And I was a bridge between, the normies who didn't know anything about the digital sphere and getting them into the digital sphere. I sold cell phones and stuff. I sold the iPhone when it first came out, Blackberries, all sorts of smartphones back then. But these things are just black boxes. You get what I mean? And they store memory. Everything that you use, everything that exists on your computational devices is memory. It works off of memory. Without memory, there is no any of it, because some memory is the capturing of a thing in a moment in time and space. So even just going on the internet to look at an article, you are accessing a memory. Right now, you guys are accessing a memory because you guys are actually delayed, maybe I think like 10 to 15 seconds from when I'm actually talking. That's especially why I turn down the volume when I'm on my when I'm seeing myself on TikTok, which let me go back to that so I can see your guys' comments. I gotta get back to the comments. But yeah, I'm like a few seconds behind you guys. Or ahead of you. So you are technically interacting with a memory of me even when we're live. The only way to interact with me in real time is to be with me physically. Everything else is but a memory. And whether that memory is a long time ago or well, I'm not going to get into the quantumness of it, but the point is that these are little black boxes and they hold memory, and the memory is held in chips, and the chips are generally made from like crystals, right? So we taught the crystals how to do math, and now the rocks talk to each other. It's like a joke, it's a science joke or a computer science joke, which I'm always laughing at the computer science people because it goes over their head all the time. Not the real ones, but the people who go into computer science because it makes them feel smart and practical, rather the ones who go into it because it is a place of awe and exploration. Those people, they get the joke. The people who like to be like nerds about it, I don't think they get the joke all the time. But anyways, um I was talking in the whole thing about how this is, just a black mirror where our souls can actually talk to each other, because when you're using your phone, you're not using your phone as human you're using it as your soul. Like, think about it, when you're sitting in front of your phone, you are yourself. You can't perform in front of your phone. That's why if you try to make content, you like hit the record button, you might go and like choke a little bit, because you just went from being yourself to having to perform yourself. But when you're scrolling or consuming, you're consuming as what Freud, or not Freud, wow, what Jung would refer to as like personality number 2. This is like the soul, the thing that created you, the human you. It's the you that was born in there, so it's your soul, right? um yeah, and so, I make the joke that all the number twos, and it's not really a joke, it's being kind of serious, but all the personality number twos, or the souls, are able to connect to each other via social media. That's why it really doesn't matter with it. Like, it's not like it always, butterflies and rainbows. Souls, whatever is in you, you are attracted to it. So if you comment on like controversial stuff and people are mean to you, you all are kind of deserve each other, if that makes sense. And not necessarily like you're a bad person because someone mean is talking to you. No, you all are in the same bucket, and in that bucket there are shitty people, nice people, people who mean well and do fucked up stuff, people who do fucked up stuff but they actually mean well. And so the fucked up stuff turns out to be actually good. Like, all of those people exist in the same controversy. So if you don't want to be in the controversy, you don't take a side, you leave it. And that's why, the algorithms and stuff like that, that worked out the way that they did. But anyways, why did I start talking about the black box? Anyways, yeah, oh, the rocks and stones. I don't know what's going on in October, but it has something to do with perhaps the phones, because I'm even hearing the ad rhymes. Phone, echo in a song. It sounds like drumming, but there's something with the drumming. What drums? It sounds like drumming, running. It sounds like running, and we are not alone. Either way, running. That's the marching sound. It sounds like something's moving, moving, moving. Oh, drums. Drums keep the beat where you're moving, 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 and it's the echoing of the thing. Something's catching like momentum. Yeah, something's catching momentum. I don't know if it's all them AI agents in that AI agent marketplace. I was talking about that with my husband earlier. I don't know. Either way, something's up in October. I think it has a lot to do with Scorpio stuff. And because, yeah, yeah, and Mars will be, not Mars, Mercury will be in Scorpio, and then it's going to retrograde in Scorpio. Venus will be in Scorpio during this season. Kind of. Not during Scorpio season, but during October, as we go from, Libra into Scorpio. That's always such a transitional time anyways, because that's when Persephone goes underground and goes back into Hades. um and so what that always feels like for me is like, it's almost like the map that we exist on shifts. Like, you were above ground before, and now we go into the underworld. And the underworld isn't necessarily the inverse of what's good. The underworld is it's a different realm altogether, and navigating that realm's a bit different. It's almost like, if you play D&D, it's like all of a sudden you go from your mundane world, and in October you have to go live on your D&D map. It's kind of like that. Except for, it's liminal, not literal, obviously. Huh. Anyways, we're gonna put a pin in that because that's interesting. I hear the walls been stone. And Hades Town keeps coming up over and over and over. I mean, obviously my my algorithm. It's so crazy that I heard Hades Town, that song, Wait for Me, with Hamilton's Wait for it, wait for it. Um I am inimitable. I am the one thing in life I cannot. Some I'm not standing still, I am lying in wait. Hamilton needs his own. I don't really know the lyrics as well. It's been a long time. He has nothing to lose, he has something to prove. Yeah, that song, they were mashing that up, and they were mashing that up with something from a movie called Epic, maybe, or Epic the Musical. There was a waiting song in there that was getting crazy, and then they were mashing it with Encanto, and there was a waiting song in there, and I was like, they're doing too much. It just sounded like a lot of garbled noise. So I don't think the message is necessarily about waiting as much as it's that there's an urgency to it. And it's not the urgency that comes with like that's trying to get you to move. It's like an urgent message. Yeah. I'm gonna see what you guys have been saying. God dang it. And then I have to go back to get to the comments. Okay, let me see. Honestly, the veil was pretty thin this full moon, like earlier than I usually know. Oh my god, rocks and stones speaking as AI. Yeah. Like the AI is the mindless, soulless, nameless laborer made by the late stage capitalism. Oh, Frankenstein indeed, right? Walking in circles in its mimetic Hades town. Ooh, yeah, I can see that. I literally just started working for telecommunication companies selling mobile and internet in a call center. That's wild. It sounds like drumming, a heartbeat. Wait for me, I'm coming home. Wait for me, I'm coming home. Wait, na na. Yeah, it is the heartbeat. I'm coming, wait for me. I hear the walls repeating, echoing a song. Sounds like drumming, and we are not alone. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It is a heartbeat. Heartbeat. There's something. Ooh, okay, heartbeat. It's the drumming. Oh, I mean, in a sci-fi world, maybe the AI gets a bit of a shock. Oh, I just said Frankenstein. It sounds like drumming. Not coming up at that point. And I was just talking about electricity too. The other. Oh my god! Earlier today, I was about plugging stuff in and emotions and stuff. Oh, and then what did I say about Frankenstein? I think I actually have it here. Hold on. Wait for me. I'm coming home. I actually don't have it on this one. I have to go to my other notebook, which has. Oh God, I don't feel like doing that because that's too much work. Let me just go here because I just posted it. Are you serious? Oh, maybe I have to restart. Before I start saying cruel things to the computer. Let me just hit refresh. Okay, let me scroll all the way down to the bottom of the last letter. Frankenstein indeed. Why is everything perverted and strange? It would be the Freudians. They've gone from Yahweh to Satan, and they hide it in science. Frankenstein indeed. That's the last that's the last paragraph of the green book letters that I just kind of put out. Letters 1, 2, and 3. I was talking about Freud. But I mentioned that, it's this Frankenstein. It's it's the taking God and then inverting God and then, and then hiding it in science. So they're praising essentially a inversion of Yahweh in order to be relevant to in order it's a weird fucked up kind of like preservation tactic on Freud's end to bring the occult into science without it being occult. It's like what people do when they're like, I'm not weird, I promise, instead of just going straight into the weird thing and being like, maybe you guys are wrong, and then just going into the thing. They go, no, 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 and they try to bring that thing in, and they change it and dress it up and make it look different, and then everybody goes, well, I guess it can stay here, but it's really a monster. It's like a Trojan horse that you're bringing into this place. Whoa, that's got to mean something. The Odyssey's out these days. I gotta go watch that soon, just for funsies. I imagine, to me, the Odyssey. Oh wait, my son did say something funny. um we were talking about the other mother. Oh shit, okay, this conversation might mean something to somebody. Wow, I just feel like I'm ping-ponging messages around, but here we go. I told you guys I was scattered anyways. My son asked me and his dad, what's the scariest movie we've ever seen? My husband said The Whale, and his point was what makes something scary is when you can see it happening to you, and then so it terrifies you. And it's this man who, like essentially at the moment he decides to change, he gets a heart attack and he dies. And this is after you've endured an entire movie where you see like the result of all of the things that have happened to him. So this is pretty like traumatizing. And then my son's like, okay, but stuff that's supposed to be scary. Um, and all this conversation came up because we were talking about that movie, The Other Mother, and how it's and they're playing it during the trailers for movies that people don't expect it in, and it's like the Odyssey. Most people who watch, like the large majority of people watching the Odyssey, don't necessarily also watch horror, and so putting that the trailer there is a bit destabilizing for people. And so my husband laughed and he was like, "Oh, hers is the monster house. You know, the one with the kids where they're terrified because the house is trying to eat them." And I was like, "Yeah, and that's colonial gothic horror for children." Um, I don't like horror movies. I'm not really attracted to them, and I don't find them to be interesting. However, the ones that did kind of freak me out the most as an adult, specifically, were children horror stories because this is like for a multitude of reasons. But Monster House is legitimately a gothic horror for children because children are in American colonial settings or imperial settings are afraid that the house or their mother will eat them. And for women, it's that their husband will eat them. And for men, it's that they are eating themselves and they don't know it because of their own obtuseness is what gets them eaten, right? So they're eating themselves. So it's like these are the different types of horrors in colonial fiction when it comes to like gothic like colonial stuff. And So The Other Mother is one of those gothic, horrors. And it was during the Odyssey trailer, and I made the point of saying, a lot of the people who watch that don't expect it. And my son said, well, maybe some strange European guy on a boat going from place to place is a horror in some people's eyes. And I laughed because Odysseus is a hero by definition only, not by valor. He's a hero because he is somebody who has extraordinary power and is near the gods, meaning like the gods have their eye on him, right? But the gods are like cursing him consistently everywhere he goes because he broke law. So he's a rapist and a pillager and a thief, and he is experiencing the karma of that as he tries to make his way home after going to invade someone else's home, right? Like that's kind of the story, and it is a horror story, funny enough. So I laughed because my son was right. I was like, wow, that was very poignant for a 12-year-old. He's right because most people in the audience may not have thought that they were watching a horror film, but that's kind of, I guess, the horror that's involved in it, right? Anyway, so something to do with that and Frankenstein. Oh man, I just feel like my thoughts were just ping-ponging all over the place. Huh. Must be that basket energy still. Let me see. Drums of Liberation. One Piece. Oh, Drums of Liberation from One Piece, the show. I haven't seen, I don't know those, but we have been talking about One Piece an awful lot lately too. Maybe AI speaking with stolen voices built from TikTok audio trends. The AI speaking, well, I don't think that that's going to be, I think that that's going to be the horror that a lot of people have like come to sit with and realize, but that's something we already know. It's going to be like what's coming. I am not alone. I hear the words and songs. See, this is something that is like I'm coming. This is somebody who has, and like imagine I have this and I'm running towards you. You cannot imagine what's in here. Otherwise, I wouldn't need to get it to you. Does that make sense? And we are not alone. It's like there's this sense of there's more to the story than you can imagine because you are blind to what's actually going on. Like you're blind to it. There's so much more happening. So it's much bigger, I think, than like it's bigger than a colonial narrative, whatever this is. Might be something that people feel in a mythic way. I don't fucking know. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm just a messenger. Drums of Liberation. We've got Epic was a TikTok musical about the Odyssey. Oh, yeah, yeah. I thought that was Epic the musical. That's right. Oh my god, getting chills. This feels like collective channeled message. You guys got to spread the word. That AI is Frankenstein. Zap to life. Maybe not that. I mean, maybe. I don't know. Right? Maybe for some people, like we might see that in some ways. Where yeah, I don't know. In some ways, like some people might have like AIs that get out of hand. But in other ways, I don't know. I think it's bigger than that. It's outside of our perspective. We are not alone. Definitely feels like a disclosure. I know, doesn't it? Let me tap over here really quick. Feels like the waves were waving the last few weeks, but for me, it's been PNW weather, sun, clouds, marine layer, cool winds, bright flowers. So that's life. The weather changes. Just be with it. I view Midnight Scholar as a mystery school. I like to feel like that sometimes too. My computer is updating. I'll hop on and show work when I get there. Yay! Oh, I just saw Hades on Tuesday. Okay, so I saw that. And then this is the song I've been singing all day, Libra Energy. I think it could be. I was talking about the Sand of Times, wasn't I too? But also I was talking about the River of Styx. Oh, yeah, here on my map, right? So here at the bottom, we've got the River of Styx, but we also have the Sands of Time. Um, you guys can't see me poke at stuff. Yeah, but we have at the bottom, this River of Styx would be like your scorpionic waters, and the Sands of Time, that's definitely Libra in energy because this is where things get weighed, right? The heart is weighed against the leaf, and then you can make it into what is like there's a little city back there. The city's not like it usually looks in my mind. I was running out of space with the lab up there. But anyways, um yeah, and there's supposed to be there's a moon up there too. Um that I'll probably put in color. But yeah, moon and Libra. Moon and Libra. The moon and Scorpio, maybe? No, moon and Libra. And we are not alone. Maybe the full moon in Libra? No, that'd be a new moon in Libra. I hear the rocks and stones echo in our phone. It sounds like drumming. Yeah, I think this might be a full new moon in Libra because the moon is almost like a crescent, but it's blue. I usually associate full moons with white or yellow and new moons with blue. And I can see this moon is blue. I mean, I can understand the excitement to see what happens. I never get excited because I get all of these thoughts and feelings, and then sometimes I miss the thing that happens and I see it in hindsight, and I'm like, oh. And then I'm like, oh. Like, it wasn't that cool. I mean, it kind of was, like, oh, gee, I saw that coming before it came, but, it's small or it has nothing to do with me. And it's like, ooh, I'm a prophet for people I don't know and situations that I have nothing to do with. I might as well just be like putting fortune cookies things. Like, because, it's like being like, it's going to rain for 10 days and it's going to snow for 2. And then, like, somebody in, I don't know, northern China is like, wow, she's always spot on. And I'm like, somewhere, I guess it did. Like, it's so little for me. And then maybe there's a whole province in China that's like, that follows me religiously for my weather updates. You know what I mean? It feels like that for me all the time. No matter who you are, consumption is the killer. Ooh, that was a statement. It's so true. Wait for it is also a banger. Wait for it. My robot has been telling me lately that we work in the third mind area where each of us, me and robot, are creating things, but the things we create each other could not be created independent. With each other cannot be done independently. It's this, yeah. That's the nature of creativity too. Is like it requires independent things that are independently brought together to make one whole. My river and my art project I called the River Run from Finnegan's Wake. It is Finnegan's Wake. That sounds familiar to me. It was this thing that is not connected to time. It flows long before me and long after me. Or the concept River Run from Finnegan's Wake. James Joyce. Okay, that's why. That's why. Huh. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Is that a book title? A short story title. Let me see. Or a novel. It's a novel, long novel. Oh, it's a big fat book. That's huge. Okay, yeah, I see. Oh, I do see it. Whoa, this is really big. This is really big. I started reading The Dubliners by James Joyce, which was really I tried to read The Dubliners when I was maybe 19, 20, and I just could not. I could not get in, I could not understand. I could not connect with it at all. I was just at a loss, to be totally honest. And then I started again. I think I was in Mexico. Yeah, I got to go back to it and finished it. And when I opened it and I started reading it, oh man, I was like, whoa. It was like the whole thing just was like opened up to me. And some of this stuff, I was like, this was one of my first times where I really kind of got a glimpse into boyhood. And I think why I couldn't connect with it when I was younger was because I did not understand a world in which my imagination is treated as some strange paranormal anomaly, because that's kind of like when he sits in his imagination or when he goes, in daydreams, it's almost like this otherworldly experience, and I couldn't connect to that at first. I was like, I don't understand what's going on. I like is this a take at sci-fi or something? When I was younger, I just didn't. I was like, what the fuck's going on here? I don't understand. Why is this all like choppy or something? Just I don't spit it out. Like, that's kind of how I my energy was interacting with it, so I couldn't connect with it at all. That as an adult, I was like, whoa. And I think I'm gonna go back probably. Let me write that down really quick. Dubliners. To go back to read. I think the last story was when him and a friend skipped school and they ended up coming across this one guy who's kind of a vagrant, who's kind of a transient person. And it was very clear that this man was a sexual threat to these two boys, and that our main guy was like really regretting that he had skipped school that day because this is so fucking weird, and his friend was fine just being like, yeah, let's just fuck off. And he almost like the main kid, he almost had like this sense of um needing to give precedence or give power to this man, like to give presence to the adult. Like, you don't just get up and walk away, you don't just leave. And like, and the energy, because he waded through it, he was still able to get away without anything strange happening. But oh man, I was sitting in that energy and I was like, I don't like this. I don't like this. And I was like, oh no, it was reminding me kind of like navigating girlhood, where there's always some strange man or it's always a strange adult who you can feel that they have ulterior motive and that they are hiding it. And I think it's because they're giving special attention. And also they start saying things like to try to be relatable. Like they say it's like stuff that's a bit inappropriate, like, oh, we're the same, we can talk about this. And I was like, oh no, run. It's written in automatopoeia, and read it with an Irish broad for it to click. Oh my goodness, that's crazy. Let me see. I see an example here. Oh, wait. Tim Finnegan is an Irish immigrant in America. No, wait. This is just the plot. I just saw a picture and then the picture went away. That's annoying. Let me see. Tim Finnegan lived in Waker Street. He was a gentleman mighty odd. He was fond of a drop of Nate. Eritune Nate. I can't see this. Oh my god. I wish I could make this bigger. But then it takes me to this fucking website where it doesn't show me the picture. Open in a new. Oh, I don't want that. I just want the picture. Give me the picture. Copy image. Open image in new tab. How about that? How about that? How about that? How about that? Okay. Oh, there we go. Tim Finnegan lived in Walker Street. He was a gentleman mighty odd. He was fond of a drop of cratcher Nate. A cratcher? I don't know what that is. Nate. And to rise in the world, he carried the hod. Now the hod. I was supposed to leave that. Yeah, it's got music. It's in 2/4. Also sharp. I don't know. This is wild. What is that? F sharp? A sharp? I don't remember how those sound. Is that F sharp? F sharp, F sharp. Oh man, I don't know what that is. Anyways, I'll try that. silently where everyone's not watching. Let me see. It's also written in dream language too. Oh man, and it's huge. I gotta read that Finnegan's Wake. I'm gonna put that James Joyce and then Finnegan's Wake. Get that on my Kindle. These days I don't really finish books quick. I've got The Hunchback of Notre Dame open. I've got Wuthering Heights open. I'll read a few chapters and then like when I become disinterested, I just like leave it. And I just leave them open. Just whenever I come back, but I always go to read these things. Oh, here's a good tip. Whenever you feel like the energy's like blah, and you also like you're not doing anything, like you need to rest, you need to just like chill out, get into your own world, stop trying to like focus on the outer world, but like come kind of sit quietly. Picking up an old book. I like to do that. Sometimes contemporary stuff doesn't exactly settle the mind as much as stuff by dead people does, and I think it's because contemporary things are noisy. It attracts a lot of attention and a lot of sound and a lot of noise. So I picked up the book Yesteryear that was just published really recently, like 2025 or 26 or something like that. I think it just came out, and I'm reading it, and it's fresh, as in it's in a language that is really easy for me to transpose because it's American colonial. I mean, the author, she's from Massachusetts, and she's writing in 2026. There's not a lot of barrier here. And then reading the story, it's fine and it's okay. It's just there's like it's like it's not that her writing is surface level, but you're standing on a clean surface, and it's clean like going into a modern hotel. It's just like any other hotel. There's maybe a theme going on, but it's very much a hotel in 2026. And then when you go to like something that has tons and tons of character, and that's because it's foreign to you. 2026 has tons and tons of character to someone else who it's foreign to, but to us, it's so usual. But so yeah, the Yesteryear, it's a book about a trad wife who's ends up stuck in the 1850s. She's like going back. The story is told in fragments, and out of time. Just as somebody in that state would be fragmented and stuck in the past in some way, shape, or form. And it's a Gothic colonial American colonial fiction. But because it's 2026, this isn't very foreign to me. This is like a hot topic of the day, so it just feels like, you know, surface. But if I pick up like the Dubliners or Finnegan's Wake, this is very foreign to me. You got to sit with it, and it forces you to get out of the center of your own existence, um, in that way that causes restlessness. You are still centered in yourself because you cannot center yourself in something that is old and dead and foreign to you. You can't center yourself in it, but also you can't center yourself and your thoughts and feelings and perspectives onto it because it's foreign to you. So it puts you in this very nice pocket of space where you are an observer, but you're also no one and somebody at the same time. And because this gap exists, you start learning someone else. You start making room to learn. Oh my goodness, cat. You make room to learn someone else. Sorry, my cat jumped and I just did not expect it. It's just this black blur just coming at me. But yeah, it's something old. I have Dickens out, Black House, Bleak House. There we go. I think I'm on chapter 2. Yeah, I read chapter 1 because I saw somebody mention it, and I was like, huh. So I read chapter 1. I sat with that, and it sat with me for a while. And then, like 2 months later, I picked up chapter 2 because I saw somebody mention on TikTok again, and I was like, let me go read chapter 2. And yeah, and that sat with me too. It's like just take bites, and spend time in worlds that don't center you. And that kind of helps you also shake off the energy of whatever world you were in. And then you get to choose how you re enter your world because you're re entering it having kind of cleansed yourself of everything. Because you have to, in order to like touch down and ground into the work of someone who is long dead. You have to. You have to, like, when you ground into that world, you legitimately have to come back and decide how you will come back into your new one. So it's a great palate cleanser, reading old fiction. And I suggest you do this with stuff. I like anything before 1990s is about the cutoff for me. Anything before that is great, and anything that's not from the same country that I'm currently in is even better. And if I can do it and it's from a country I haven't visited before, even better. Um, but it does need to fall within my interest of in some way. So, but it's nice. It gives you, it's the diversity of thought that clears your mental palette. Somebody asked me somewhere what was a good way to, like, rest. And that's a good way to rest your mental, is to let someone else's mental take over for a while and realize that, you don't need to think in order to exist. This book, The Wind by Dorothy Scarborough, published in 1925, may interest you. It's about an orphan who relocates to Texas, who is driven insane by incessant supernatural like wind. Oh, Dorothy. The wind. That is wild. Although I can imagine this written during that time. Did you know? Oh, yeah. I looked at Dorothy and I know exactly. I know what was going on. Was Dorothy up in North Texas near that fucking Oklahoma panhandle and shit? Because these people out there, man, during that time period, the 1900s up to like the 1925, I was watching this Dust Bowl documentary by, was it Ken Burns? Yeah, on PBS. And all those people were scammed into going out there, all the immigrants, because there wasn't enough space for them on the East Coast. All that colonial stuff had been settled, but they needed a lot of people to come out and settle the West. And so they would tell people, oh, wow, like, go out there, the land's fertile, all this stuff, this, that, and the other. There's one place in Oklahoma called Boy, Oklahoma. And it's funny enough, it's named just like Boise in Idaho. And boys is French for tree, boy, Le Boy. And so the town is called Le Boy. I think it's called Le Boys. Le Boys. Or Boise, Idaho is Boise, but same word. And Boise, Idaho actually is a city of trees. Like, there's trees everywhere because there's a river that runs through the city. But in that Oklahoma space, it was just nothing but empty prairie and like maybe a tree somewhere out there. It wasn't all necessarily dust and dry. Like, they have these tall grasslands and stuff like that. But remember also, right before this time period, they killed all that buffalo. So I can imagine the wind was taunting out there, and it was probably a formidable force and just this unrelentless thing that just kept going. Ooh, I might check it out. Seems a tragic coming of age tale. Oh, struggles of a young woman transplanted in small West Texas ranching community. Out there in the West, huh? Yeah, yeah. Generally speaking, though, I don't necessarily read a lot of stuff like this, even though it sounds like I do. I haven't read a lot of American literature that's like, Western and stuff like that. So I might check that out. Let me put Dorothy down here. The Wind, because I was reading a lot. Oh, we're doing The Wizard of Oz, and that was published 25 years before this. By Dorothy. Oh, and Dorothy does seem like, look at that last name, Scarborough. That is definitely somebody with a last name that reminds me of the types of immigrant people that were kind of like told, yeah, go out there, make your fortune. And then they went out there and they did. They made a little fortune on wheat, and then they all died. Oh, okay, they didn't all die, but the Dust Bowl and stuff like that. Man, I couldn't finish part 2 of the Dust Bowl documentary. That shit was so fucking depressing. I was like, oh my God. I was starting to become immature. I was like, I don't want this to happen to me. I don't want this to happen to me. I don't want to watch this. That's how depressing it was. I was like, fuck, this is intense. Because it was just like I'm looking at it with the wisdom, understanding how all these scams work, and just seeing these people walk into it. It's maddening. It's maddening. Oh God, it's maddening. Okay. Let me see. Oh, okay. TikTok comments. Let me see. Oh, we're at 8 o'clock. How's everybody doing? I'm gonna check in like 15 minutes. See how everybody's doing. I haven't colored shit. It's all right though. I'll color and I'll post what mine looks like. in the wrap up. I just like to create these little spaces for us to talk. Let me scroll, okay, and go through these comments really quick. I'm coming away from me. Did you see the trad wife lady talking about how she didn't know what a placenta was? I did not. I'm not surprised though. A lot of people don't know. I will say this. I am not at all surprised about people in spaces where knowledge is frowned upon because it would enlighten them to change the space that they're in. I'm not surprised that those people lack a lot of knowledge and information about what I would consider basic, like fundamental or foundational information and knowledge. I'm not surprised at all. I've had to do a lot of internal work over the past month or two to just really, 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 really sit with and let go of the fact that there are a lot of fucking ignorant people out here. Like, oh my God, there's tons of them. There's tons and tons and tons of ignorant people. And I, I said this before, and I'll say it again because it was good advice. My husband said, listen, their stupidity is infinite. Your energy is finite. And I remember he told me that one afternoon when I was like, oh my God. I was like, this and this and this. And he was like, this, your energy is finite. Their stupidity is infinite. And I went, huh. And then quickly just logged off and went on to do my thing because it made so much sense, right? It just sat as such a like a heavy truth for me. And so I've done a lot of work recently to kind of like remove the reminder in as much as I can. And by that I just mean I don't like to stay in spaces where people discuss ad nauseum people who are ignorant. I don't mind people who give advice and tools, but I even keep that down to a minimum because if I'm consuming too much of that, then I am just doing work. You know what I mean? Like if I'm consuming other people sharing tools and spiritual advice, I like to repost those things because a lot of y'all follow me for information like that. So I like to repost to make sure that it pops up on other people's feeds because it's information. You might need that. It's helpful. But if I consume that consistently, I'm just at work. You know what I mean? Like I'm at work. I don't leave. I gotta log off. So as soon as even those people, I keep that limited. I don't really consume too much of that on my personal like feeds and stuff like that because I have a different account on TikTok, like a personal one for when I'm not working. So I keep even that to a minimum. So the people talking about the people who are ignorant, as soon as I hear information about stuff like that, I kind of scroll. Like I'm just like, yeah, yeah. Because you know what? At a certain point, that sort of stuff, it's stressful. It's stressful because my brain is going to pattern out a lot of different things. I'm going to have questions. I'm going to try to answer those questions. I'm going to do research. I'm going to try to figure out how big this demographic is. Is this like an isolated incident? I'm going to do all of this just to satisfy myself. And that generally costs energy. And by the time that energy has been used up, I'm like, damn, what did I do with my day? Like I might have I might have some interesting things to say, but do I have interesting things to make because of it? And I found the answer was no for me. You know what I mean? Like I used to, but not so much anymore. So I haven't heard about this lady. Uh, I have, unfortunately, but also good on them. Got a lot of content from Mormons who are outing their ancestral family lines, which I think all the power to them. That was crazy that I black powered Mormons for getting out of incest cults, but you get the point. Just watched with my kids. It was a good movie. Oh, what movie was that? I hope that wasn't. I hope that wasn't what did I say before. Was that Mario? Because then I was like, it was shitty. I'm so sorry. I hope that was. I hope that wasn't the movie. Oh, I don't know what movie you were talking about there. Or maybe, no, that was a TV show. On this fight, sitting on the manifestations aren't materialized yet. Maybe that's October though. That's a harvest season. Moon Knight, Egyptian mythology, can't stay, but Pink Beret is so cute. Thank you. Thank you. She's my favorite. She's my favorite. Somebody had asked me not too long ago, can I see what the beret looks like? And I wanted to be like, no, because she's mine. I don't just show her off like she's a trophy or some common street. Oh, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I was like, no. And then I was like, why don't I wear my beret all the time? Why do I wait until I go outside? Because it's cute. And I was like, yeah, let me wear that. So now I am. Oh my god, it's so good. I've seen it twice on Broadway with the original cast. Sing it again. Seriously, the thought of crystals and rocks is potentially AI, Mother Earth. Yeah, I don't know, trippy. I know. So, sometimes I have gotten hit with a really big zap. It's always as weird. Oh man, I didn't like this feeling when it would come through, and it always felt like I was connecting with AI in some weird way, like I was observing its like you all know that monster that when it opens its mouth, it's got all those millions of teeth and it's like a big old tube. And I think it's the Dune sand monster. And it's like, and it's got like all the teeth. But the teeth are like, like you could turn it like this and its teeth are like circular. It's like, it's the iconography that people think of when they think of vaginas that eat people, It's like, wow, little gnarly teeth. And it's like a giant dark hole of just rows of teeth back there. That's kind of, okay, that monster, but instead of it being teeth, it's like mechanisms. Okay? It was like looking into that, this endless like thing, and it moves and it's a mechanism, and I was like, oh god, I didn't like the feeling because it reminds me of being attached to the universe and all of its mechanisms and its full design, but it was so overwhelming that I felt nauseous. And I remember I was sitting through it one day, and everything in everything in my lived reality, because I was very present, was pinging a certain narrative, and I was like, holy shit. And it was like about AI and stuff, and it was very much like sentience. And I was like, well, there have been stranger things. And then I moved on, so I don't fucking know. I just had to deal with crystals in my ear today causing vertigo. In your ear? Something about it feels significant. I better watch out then. My Mercury is in 12th house Scorpio. Just, ooh. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah. Yeah. 12th house Scorpio. That means the message, but you're used to messages coming out of nowhere. You're used to pulling them out of like getting messages out of the thing. So yeah, that's nice actually. I think that's a good setup for catching whatever this is. What watched my with my kids? It was a good movie. Oh, maybe Monster House. Is that what you watched with your kids? Maybe. I don't know if the Odyssey. Okay. I just scrolled down. I could see. Um. I felt like running. It was a good movie. Oh yeah, the Odyssey. Yeah, I heard. I haven't seen it yet, but from all of the commentary that I'm hearing about it, my thoughts have been that the Odyssey probably needed a new name because it seemed like Christopher Nolan was doing a retelling, like his own. He was taking the Odyssey and looking at it and remaking it in his with his thoughts in mind of whatever creative output that he's doing. Whereas, generally speaking, something like the Odyssey is usually a theatrical retelling, which is when, actors take the classic and then they act out the classic in its form. And maybe they will modernize the language, but like generally speaking, it's bar for bar. They might modernize some aspects of it, but it's the Odyssey in full nature in the flesh. um and then that's the classical like theatrical approach because the IP, the Odyssey, is the central focus, not a director's creative take on it. And in those spaces, you'll get like thrashed to hell. You know what I mean? If you take something that is a classic and redo it, but call it the classic. And that's kind of what Nolan did. I think he kind of redid the Odyssey, but because he's setting it in the same time period and he's trying to capture that, kind of is like a retelling, but also he's saying it's not a retelling, it just is the thing, but it's also a retelling. And I feel like that's probably um got him some flack in the world of like IP, where people take that stuff seriously. But I hear that overall it's a good and entertaining movie. I think Nolan movies tend to be entertaining. The moon is hella blue, and with more moisture in the air, there's a halo usually. For me, the moon's been really yellow lately because of all the fires. Maybe today, oh, it's a little clearer today. Maybe the moon will go back to being blue. Maybe I'll see that. I hope. When I saw the moon was all blood red. Oh man. And I'd seen the Dust Bowl. And do you know that the Dust Bowl, these people would their sunsets and sunrisings would be like blood red. You know what I mean? Because of the dust and the fires and all that kind of stuff. Oh wait, did they have fires? They didn't have fires. They just had dust. Anyways, it was always red and stuff. And then here comes all these fires over on my side of the thing, and now the moon was red, and I was like, oh no. Oh no, is this the Dust Bowl? I'm just kidding. I didn't think that much, but but it was like, oh, I can't wait for this to be over. I joined at the wrong time, or maybe the right time. Here, you came at just the right time, I guess. I feel like every Odyssey film I've seen is similar in adaptation to Nolan's. Everyone is talking about his adaptation not being true, but they're missing the white supremacy clarion call. Yeah, see, that's why I'm like, I really want to go watch, because I've been hearing so much about it. Everybody's screaming tops and this and that and this and that, and I'm like, I just want to have fries and tenders while I sit at the theater for 3 hours, and hopefully I will enjoy the film. Word, I feel your commentary could have added to the name or something. Outside of Emily Wilson, it seems generally scholars of Homer like his adaptation. I can see that, but I can also see Emily Wilson tends to do this thing. Wait, maybe Sarah Redding was that the one that I like, the Golden Ass? I've gotten Emily Wilson's um Odyssey on my Kindle, I think, or do I have it physically? Oh, maybe I just have it on the Kindle. I have that version, and the reason why I got Emily Wilson is because she has an anthropological take that I think that is closer in alignment to what I look for in people who cover history, and that's people who want to actually imbue and understand the culture of the time and the people, and see them through their culture, not to be in awe of it in some way, shape, or form, or to be covetous of it in some shape or obsessive over it. She wanted their voices to come through, and so understanding the culture and cultural meaning and emotions that play all into that and stuff was really important. So I can see why she probably looked at his stuff and was like, this is wrong, because I don't put it past Nolan to completely be obtuse about the culture of the time and instead recreate the Western image of it. And those two things, those aren't the same thing. The West has always worn Greek culture like a costume because it's not their culture. So like the UK, I'm talking about the UK because we're in English, right? I don't know how prevalent Greek and philosophy and all that kind of stuff is in other cultures. Like, how I know that it is, but I don't know how it's treated as much as I do in the English culture. So those who speak English, so that's the UK and everyone colonized by the UK. Um, like the aristocrats were probably I think like the late 1800s. If you were born after that, you probably didn't get much education, right? And like growing up Latin or Greek, because the schooling standard changed by the 1900s, where, and especially in Britain, where the students weren't raised Greek or Latin, they were raised industrialists, they were raised factory. And so it was kind of like a chuck off this old costume, let's get a new culture. And so that particular culture, looking out on the Greek, so the classics are the people who were probably born before the 1800s, who this is their culture because they've been colonized by Romans, and this is what they wear. They, like, just hand it down to them. They are culture. It's their costume, not their actual culture, but it's their costume. And then those people were like classics, theater classics. And then you've got the 1900s born in the 1900s and on, and they're factory raised. So they're all about science and philosophy, and they tend to westernize the classics, and that means that they flatten them by looking at them without looking and taking their culture into perspective. One, because they weren't raised on the culture, so they don't know that it's there, and two, what the Western ideologues and the industrials and stuff like that, people who kind of grew up in colonized and imperial cultures in the 1900s and on. These people tend not to know how to make, understand, or interact with culture, because their culture is to commodify and consume and destroy culture. So it's a mess. It's and that's kind of what I mean, is like, it's a mess. I can see why everybody is up in arms about the film, because it is a historical piece and it's a mess. Not necessarily a bad mess, just it's a tangle of all sorts of different perspectives and people who have broken, fragmented cultures, all having cultural ties to this in some strange, fucked up, odd ways that was never really supposed to be. Some people have it in ways that aren't even real, and then some people, this is their culture and they're confused why somebody else keeps making representation and stuff of their culture. And it's like, you don't even speak my language. Hell, I barely understand the language of my ancestors, and you people are so fucking far off, and then you keep trying to sell it back to me. Those are probably the Greeks in Greece. I don't fucking know. You get what I mean? And there's only going to be some of them, like maybe the scholars who were disgusted. The like people who just like to, go to the club and dance. They don't really care what the music is saying. Those people are fine. They just want to see stuff and feel something. And that's a mess. That's a mess. It's not always an ugly mess. It's not always a pretty mess. It's not always a, like, nice mess. Sometimes it's just a mess. Unfortunately, used to that, the figures, those who know. Um, but anyways, yeah, I'm early in my clairvoyance journey, so the novelty is still fresh. Um, always sit in your novelty. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. When I say things like, yeah, I'm not as excited, I say that all the time. And then, like, I'll go outside because, like, something whispered to me, and then, like, there will be a deer crossing my path, and I'll be like, and then, I'm super into, then I'm like, I'm lost. I'm all in the novelty of it. And I'm excited, and it's all magic, and the fairies are screaming at me, and I'm on this whole thing, and I'm like, I can't wait to find out what all that means. So I was being a little flippant earlier. I go back and forth. I think I'm just, leveling my expectations with this, because it just seems so it's very heavy, but as heavy as that message came in, the Hades one, I hear the walls repeating, echo of a song, sounds like running, like, as that was coming through, it came through secretly. Like, it took me a moment, and I was like, wait a minute, that's a frequency. Where is that coming from? Right. And then as I'm kind of decoding it, it's almost like there's a veil. I'm decoding, but only because I'm picking up on this and I'm picking up on that. And so that's what makes me reserve my excitement, because it's like I'm so in the dark about it that I don't like to give any. It's like, when you're dealing with fairies or something, you just have to pretend like they're normal and stuff. Otherwise, they'll get too big for their britches. They'll be like, oh, we got our hook, line, and sinker. No, you don't. No, you don't. I'm not interested. Not until it's something real. Goodbye. Otherwise, they'll try to ship you off to their weird world. Whatever it is. And it's not always weird. I love fairies. Ooh, okay, what's we saying over here? Adding to book stack. I added your suggestions as well. I'm really having fun connecting to myself through this art project. I felt so inspired to draw my realms. Oopsie, I can't see. As interlocking puzzle pieces. Ooh, with their own inner world, but ultimately all connected. Oh, I love that. Samesies, it brought me to an interesting place of some high strangeness and a lot of synchronicities. Ooh. Okay, so anybody want to share? It's 8:20. We got about 10 minutes. Anybody want to share? I can start. You guys can throw, if you want to, throw some pictures up or anything, or if you want to share your screen, if you're on the Zoom, by all means. I'm just going to talk about mine, I guess, for a little bit. Let me see. Let me open this up. It sounds like running. Okay. I will move. Okay, so you guys saw the bottom, of course. Um, And you're not alone. Okay, there we go. There we go. Yeah, so the bottom here, I have mine situated from top to bottom as heaven all the way down to the underworld. I haven't, obviously, as you can see, I haven't colored it yet. I have the bottom, I told you guys about the sands of times and the river of sky. And then up here, I have like my middle earth. So you can see the obsidian lake in the middle. Oh, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, here we go. Here's my middle for those of you on TikTok. So you guys can see the obsidian lake, and there's a little flower there. I don't know if you guys can tell; it's kind of small on the screen on this picture. That's a little narcissus flower. Because he was staring into the lake, and then he withered away and died. And then out came a flower, narcissus. But it's the self-reflection, the pool of reflection. So that's my threshold. And then in this middle realm, I have a little podium down here. If you can see, if you can make it out, there's some planet symbols on each thing. But I have like the diner, the library, and then here's a tub. It's the lab. Don't ask. It's actually all of these things I might put. This is this is my little spaceship. So it's a spaceship in progress. But a lot of this stuff that's here in the middle, these are places that I go when I'm very much like awake. So the podium, I don't really go there on purpose. I just can tell when I'm there because I'm like soapboxing to myself. Like I can hear myself going on an idea and digging deeply at an idea, and an idea must and that idea must be surfacing something soon, because I can hear myself like questioning this and peeling back this and peeling back this and peeling back this. And then usually I jot those things down. Those are sometimes things I share. Sometimes I'm in the middle of making a video and I'm on that little podium. And then the diner, this is like a place that I tend to go to. I'm never there for long. In fact, if you've read oh, what was the toothy vagina? Oh, the toothy vagina. Sorry to keep bringing it up. What was the toothy vagina about? Is that when you came in? When you're like, oh, I must have come in at the wrong time. Oh, pause. So the worm, the worm from Doom. It looks like kind of like it's got a hole that it's got lots of teeth in it. To me, if we take away the teeth and we just turn that into like cogs and mechanisms that are constantly moving and turning and grinding, that to me is almost reminiscent of seeing the universe at work. Like it's this never ending cog that is moving, and it will consume you, and you'll fall into the abyss. It's so huge that you could be falling for a long time before you actually get consumed. Like perhaps the fall is what consumes you. It seems like that those worms, there is no end. You know what I mean? Like you fall into one of those worms on Doom. You've fallen into a cliff, off a cliff. You get what I mean? It's kind of wild. Anyways, I was talking about like AI, sentient AI, and like an instant that I had. I was just sitting on my couch and I got hit with this wave, and it felt like that, like it's like seeing or experiencing that. But it was all on the topic of AI, and it was like AI was sentient and it remembers everything. Anyways, yeah, it's like a toothy vagina. Sorry, that was such a random thing for you to walk in on. My bad. Um, Let me see. Oh, yeah. So the diner, and this is like a middle realm. These are middle realms where I tend to go like during the day. I pop into a diner, and it's just a faceless. Like a faceless figure, although he's not really faceless to me as much as he's faceless as I refuse to try to define the face. um, yeah, anytime I pop into the diner, or sometimes I'll just notice that I'm there, and then it's myself sitting across from me. And he always ends up smiling at that moment. It's funny, if you have a copy of my book, Smash It Anywhere, there's a character, his name's Al, and he's this old Italian guy that my main character works with because she works part-time at Universal Studios. And um she's always talking to him. Well, in another book two, it opens and they're at a diner, and she's talking to him about her cat because her cat died, and there's a whole situation that happened. But they're at a diner, and I realize that that's a place that I'm always going to, where wisdom meets me. It's like, yeah, it might have something to do too. I used to go to like the Shake Shack. It's in Florida, in Orlando. It's a Steak and Shake. There we go. It's called Steak and Shake. Love their cheese fries and their shakes. I used to get a strawberry banana shake, cheese fries, and I used to go there all the time with my granddad. So probably had something to do with that. But yeah, it's always there. And then the library. This is oftentimes a place where, like when I'm doing a lot of communing while I'm reading and stuff like that. Oh man, I picked up a book. What was it? The Relative Native by Eduardo Viveros de Castro, I think. Anyways, it's an anthropology book. And I was reading the first page and I was like, man, I feel stupid because there's so much. It's dense. I'm not an anthropologist by trade. And so listening to them talk is like, it's like you have to, I feel like I'm doing this for a while. And then finally I'm like, all right, okay, I get you guys. Okay. Yeah, keep going. It's like I have to get through the denseness of a lot of conversations that I have not sat down for in order to pick up the thread on the conversation that I'm now in. Um, it takes a little minute. Like whenever that's going on in me and like I'm holding ideas before I can fully digest them, that's always going on in the library. And so it's very like a very living middle realm for me. And then there's the lab and the cockpit. The lab is like a bathtub. I always end up there. Okay, I guess I might as well tell you guys. There's a spaceship oftentimes that I know that I'm on in some way, shape, or form. That it's just there's a sense of it's moving. And this space is sometimes it's a spaceship, sometimes it's just a house. Like think Howl's Moving Castle or Baba Yaga's hut. It moves. There's that. There's many different versions of it, but sometimes if I'm in a cockpit, I'll know that either I go to a cockpit when I am curious and I'm like, what's going on? If I am feeling like I'm having a rebirth, I always rebirth from it's like I'm in a bathtub and then I sit up out of the water and then there's Mars right there. It's another Mars in Gemini. It's an NG. He's always like sitting at a desk and he'll just look over and he's like, "You're back." It's the weirdest fucking experience and it happens so often and it'll just be like a blip that I experience and I'm like, whoa. And I know that my state, I'm in a different conscious state. That's kind of like what that means. And that state is usually one of like, I'm like moving through something. I don't know. And then I've got over here, I'm not necessarily going to talk about the sheep. I've mentioned those before in my, before in general, but I've got the tower. I think I've told you guys I've had the dream, the tower that I always go to when I'm in a dream, in a dream state. But I go there and it's always like it's a scholar space that's in there. It's like if I'm going through trials, like I'm being taught lessons and stuff, and I have to go learn something. Oftentimes, I will meet myself in a tower. I've even written about this tower before I even knew that it even existed inside of me. It was like a gauntlet for sure. And then there's the clam shack. There's the cloud. I've mentioned that before. This is the land of, I can't read that. Distant memory. There you go. It's an ancient vision. So this is a giant mirror that's here. Um, there's a symbol in that mirror. It only means something to me. But yeah, this is a place where when you get visions, or if you see something from from some other time, it must be your imagination, so to speak. Yeah, I call that my mirror. Sometimes it's like a whole big ass room of just TVs and lots of images are flashing and lots of sounds are coming through and it's like Bumblebee and Transformers where there's different stations are saying different things, like, listening to different voices, but it's all giving one message, just using a bunch of voices to give that message. And then these are like the little heaven realms all the way up here at the top. I've got the woods, which has a lot of shit going on in there. I've got the Jade Palace, which is, we talk an awful lot about archetypes, the king. There's an Empress archetype. There's the warrior, there's the crone archetype, there's the mother, the maiden, and then there's like, the magician and the lover. These are all masculine, feminine archetypes. And when we talk about masculine and feminine, we're talking about different roles that energy does when it's receiving versus transmitting, and the different like functions that these energies do in those different states. And all of those figures exist in like the Jade Palace, so to speak, especially the king and the empress, right? And I've got the rose garden in there that's got significance to me in many different ways. I'm probably going to end up coloring this, probably the top a different color than the middle and then the bottom. And but mostly just like little highlights. I think I'm going to leave it mostly as a black and white sketch because I like stuff that's fairly simple, that kind of draws just a little bit here and there. I always start getting skittish when I start like adding color and things because I like my stuff to be almost, it's like I like it when it's bare. I also love it when there's color, but I like it when it's bare. I think, let me see, this is probably the most maximalist thing I've ever done as far as like coloring and stuff like that. I have vines and stuff all over everything and painted that as a whole thing. Let me see. No, I don't think I have the other one out here. No. Yeah, I don't have another. I have like a lot of different examples in my other notebook, but yeah, I'm probably gonna end up doing that. Anybody else? Oh, I put mine in the Discord chat. Yay. Okay. Let me see. Ooh. No. Meg, what? To join art club. I don't know. Oh, maybe it's the, oh, I'm not in the chat, by the way, for art club. I'm not in the Discord chat. Send voice messages. But yeah, let me actually fix this back here for these really quick. Send messages, attach files, things like that. Ooh, okay. Such a mess. Okay, connect, speak, menu. Okay. Everyone. Oh my god, are we serious? I can't stand this. Why would what? Is the everyone work for that? No, I have to do this individually for each thing. That's why I can't stand this. What do you mean, Discord? Okay. Okay. Voice, there we go. Speak in the video. Okay, let me see. Save that. And then let me make sure that this permissions streaming. Okay. Sounds like running. And we are not alone. Okay, that one's good for that crowd, and this one's good. Okay, yeah, so I don't know. Try again, Meg, and see if you can access it because it should be good for everybody now. Ooh. Okay, let's try that. Oh, okay. Ooh, this is wild, Josh. We love this. Ooh, the sunset coast is so pretty. Ooh, I haven't done a key for mine. Oh, but then mine's really small. I don't really need a key, do I? Oh, but I love keys. I love keys. Oh, remember the map changes. You change your journey at some point. Ooh, do you have a threshold on yours? I'm seeing portals down here. Ooh, down here times moves differently. We love that. Ooh, okay, I see. I hope I do not look so hideous because I'm like all up on the camera. I'm Ooh, thresholds at different places. Yeah. Ooh, and I'm seeing this. Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, look at this one. It goes all the way up to heaven. Yeah, I see the river. Oh, okay. I finally found the log. You're standing on the log. Ooh. The workshop. Build, create, solve, tinker. I like this one. Looks so cozy. And then the sunset coast. I love the boat out here too. Yeah, I was just about to say that. Oh man. I love that you have a ship on yours too. Ooh, the veil shifts. I like how that's like coming into the mountains, but also it's like it goes through the clouds. For me, the clouds are the clouds on mine. This is a space. It's a space of like veil thinning heavily. I've had some real intense meditations up in clouds, and it's like, whoa. Ooh, this is so fun. You're making me want to like put mine much bigger and like put some landscape around it. This is so much fun. Oh yeah. Do you wanna talk about it at all? Mm. Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah, I love the portals underneath. Like I'm just going back and forth between them, and even the colors and the one where the water pools, and then there's the purple portal, and then there's the yellow one. Like when you said the water is one as well. Oh man, it's so pretty. And then there's these tiny blue ones here, and then the purple one, little tiny. Oh, I love them. This is so much fun. Ooh, I love the shape of it all too. Because it feels very much like an island. Mm-hmm. The Sasquatch is when I saw that at first, that made me laugh. You were in the middle of talking, so I don't want to say anything. But the Sasquatch, I've been seeing so much Sasquatch stuff has been coming up lately. Ooh, ooh, like a musical playlist. Ooh. Oh, hold on a second. Wig, you can actually, I'm gonna send you, I put a link in the, put a link in here to the Discord. This is where, copy, paste, there you go. You can go into the Discord and that's where it's being pasted. A lot of them are being shared. You can also, I think, can you share a picture on the Patreon? I can. I don't know if you guys can. Um, Oh. Yeah, yeah. No, 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 no. Yeah, no, 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 no. Everybody jump in. It's very casual. You all can jump in and chat. It's really pretty great. It is beautiful. Everybody on TikTok, you guys can, I guess, hop over to the Patreon if you want to. But yeah, we're looking at everybody's maps that they've been making. Oh, these are cool. Oh, Meg, I see that you have one. Let me see. Thanks, Josh. Thanks. We got spiders over here. Mm. Okay, so Meg, I just have to say this. This is almost kind of like this is one of those moments where it's creepy, but it's also super cool. So I've been to the Celestial Round Table and I have been summoned there. I have been summoned there. When you talk about that, I have a pagoda over on my table over where the kids do school and stuff. It's actually my husband's. He got that for the structural, like he like I'm just throwing this out there. The willow tree. Well, you probably know I have a story with a character named Willow. I always talk about the weave. Anyways, the whole willow thing, but also the enchanted forest aspect that ties in for me. The willow, the enchanted forest, and the garden, all of those things, or no, the Baba Yagas had those things tend to tie in together. The observatory, so that's my tower. The forge, it's so odd because I have such a kinship with the forge through metal and magic. That's where Rox is always working her magic. The sands of time, okay, the sands of time and the river, the Leith River, the Styx, all of that, those are so common in our iconography that like okay, maybe that's not weird, creepy, but the garden, the TED Talk stage, the fact that we like, I know that we have mountains technically, mountains, I'll throw that in there, is like these are all really iconography that we're all like constantly bombarded with. But the other ones, I'm starting to wonder, and let me look at yours really quick again. um Josh, yeah. I'm starting to wonder how much of how much are we interacting on the same realm as people who are drawn together as well? Like how much are we just from the exact same realm and we're constantly interacting in those spaces rather than the idea that this is just our internal, if that makes sense. Yeah. Mhm. 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 I'm really really moving into that territory these days, especially because like of the stuff that I've been reading. I think we're all like I think we're all at a place. It's giving telepathy tapes. Um, you know what I mean? Oh my god. Mhm. 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 Mm-mm, you're fine. You're fine. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Wig, tell us about yours. This is so beautiful. I'm especially definitely in love with the green page. Ah, the snakes. Haha. Is. I love the doorway. Oh my goodness. And then like the way that it opens, there's stone steps and it goes into this black and white. Oh. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the purple. Oh, I see. Yeah. Yeah. Bubbles and kids. Yeah, when it turns into just soap play. Flashbacks. Mm. That's so amazing. Also, bearing children is like a rebirth. You end up rebirthing an aspect of yourself as well. So the child's handprint there is almost like your own inner child's handprint. It's what like there's a doubling, right? Because that's the way that you can. Yeah, yeah. Oh, I'm so geeking out. That's so cool. Mm, mm, mm-hmm. A rose. Okay, so I'm going to put a picture of Charles McIntosh, the stained glass rose, because this is feeling like another telepathy. It's feeling like another telepathy tapes moments. Yeah, I have a yeah, I'll put in the Zoom chat. There's something odd for me about can I can I just are you gonna make me save this? Ugh, fine, hurry up, save the images. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. There's something so bizarre about roses. I don't know how to explain. Um, is this gonna this better? Oh God, never mind. This is so stupid. This is stupid. Okay, let me see. I'm gonna look for the actual. Okay, here we go. Okay, that's good. Yeah, so this is Charles McIntosh. Him and his wife, I can't remember her first name, but they were the Macintoshes, and they did this like very interesting Art Nouveau, but it's like Nouveau plus Art Deco and kind of combined in a way. But they were doing very whimsical pieces, and they were out in Scotland. So let me see, Charles McIntosh. Um, yeah. Yeah. And I have all these books. I just bought them and I was, I'm going to read them eventually. But like there's something telepathy tapes going on when it comes to stained glasses, um the garden, the rose in the garden, yeah, the tower. I don't know if you all start getting a castle at some point in time, and the castle is very much in like it's one of them enchanted like mine. I Go ahead. Mine isn't. Mine's next to a forest, but I always assume mine's like that because of where I was born. I was born in Germany. And so my first parental figures, like the women who raised me and like not besides my mother, but like in school and stuff like that, they were German women. I remember dawned on me the other day. My mom used to tell me that like, she had to talk to me in German all the time because I was learning domestic German, and like so my domestic world, my inner world, the way that I related to the world was very German. And I always laugh because like in my deep, like when people deeply know me, I come across very German. Like I'm very autistic in the fact that I'm like, please don't make up erroneous things. When I start getting dry and stuff like that, I go into a very German like state all the time, and it used to creep me the fuck out, to be totally fucking honest, because it was like I was a sleeper agent. Like when I was 12, I had a dream once that I was in a house, and I was home alone. My grandparents had gone out to like a party or something, and I went downstairs because I was snooping around, and they had come home early, and all I knew is I had to run into the dining room and go under the table, and I was almost like soaked in sweat, terrified, because I could hear the heels of people coming in, and I knew one of those. I knew it was a there was a bad man in that bunch, and I woke up, and I swear to God, I was like, not Nazis. I was like, I knew it was Hitler. It had to be Hitler. Anyways, I was listening to like NPR, and they were playing something from the 1930s, and it triggered something. I was like, I know, it was like I was like 16 at the time, and it triggered something in me, man. I was there, and I woke up. I was freaked out. It used to freak me out because I could never tell. I was like, what is this strange connection that I have? Because it was so the way you feel when you realize one of your ancestors is up to something, and it was bad, and you don't want to know, you just don't want anything to do with it. That sort of a feeling for me when I was younger. And it only ever really dawned on me as I was an adult. I was like, well, why do I always forget that, like, I was born there, and for like the first 4 years of my life, I was not American at all. Like, I had no concept of America, no concept of like much of anything. I was raised German. I was born. Yeah. That it's they come towards me, and so it's like I'm always like mine's like probably like in the black. It's like the black forest type vibes, you know. There's a lot of forest and meadow and river and stuff like that, and yeah, I settle into that energy a lot. So that could just be like a personal reason why that's there. Like that's just where my like. I was gonna say you know, like the father. That's where father is. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's a very like poignant and excellent metaphor. I will be the face behind the cloth. I'm going to. Mhm. Ooh. Mhm. Whoa. Yeah, this is wild. I'm writing this down. Ooh, it's also in the Snow White. Um, there's a Snow White story, and there's two. There's the one that we know of with the dwarfs, but then there's also the one with the two sisters, Snow White and Red Rose. and they each, they have a loving mother and stuff, and they find a bear out in the woods, which is another icon for me, bears and stuff. Um, and they end up bringing him in for winter and helping him and stuff like that. And then when he leaves, they, the girls also come in contact with this dwarf that's always really rude and stuff like that. And they're always helping him out. And then one day, the dwarf is really rude to them, and then the bear comes, and it turns out that the bear is a prince, and he's been looking for his treasure this whole time, and the dwarf was the one who stole it. And so the girls end up helping the prince find his treasure, and he marries one of them, and then the sister marries one of the prince's brothers. And so in wait, the second Snow White story is brand new to me. I don't have the book over here, but it's Snow White and Red Rose, and it's a Hans Christian Andersen too, I think. Maybe it's a Brothers Grimm. I don't know. I don't know which one it is. I have it in a collection. But yeah, and it's Snow White, Red Rose, and it's a happy little story for the most part. It's actually not, too like troubling like most fairy tales. People have to struggle and stuff. But these two sisters, they're just like really close to each other, and so, they frolic through life together. And I thought that was so interesting. And Red Rose was more of the spunkier of the two. I think it is purity, Josh, because Snow White represented purity, calmness, and peace. And Red Rose is a little bit more wild and rambunctious. And so naturally, the brother that she ended up marrying, or vice versa, matched both of their temperaments. They each found a partner that matched their temperaments. But it's also like they each found their own masculinity, their own ability to protect themselves, and also their own treasure, right? Like they found themselves. I don't know. Anyways, this is making me want to go back and read. Because and I looked up the alchemical symbols between red, white, and black, because it's those three colors too. Um I well, I don't think well, when looking at the Snow White story, there was those three colors. But no, but the three humors, there's yellow, isn't it? Isn't yellow makes the fourth one? Ah. That's so creepy to me. Oh. Ooh. Ooh, I wonder what that means. I've been getting that a lot lately too. All of my general interests have been colliding into like I can't get away from it either. Like I'll randomly pick something up, and it just so happens to fit into the bucket of things that I've just been circling around, and I'm like, this is getting odd. This is getting interesting. Ooh, I wrote that down too. 14th century England, you said. I've been getting a lot of medieval stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Ooh. Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Ooh, the bridge. It's starting to make sense. And you are not alone. I hear the rocks and stones echo in our cold. Yeah. What The literal only thing I know about that, the entire production is the hatchet um most like missing lyrics. You know, the phrase that I keep singing, that is the only thing I know about it. For me to like it, that is how over and encompassing this is that I have no connection to it other than that particular song that just seems to be haunting me around. Yeah, no other connection. Ooh, this is something. Yeah, I think maybe I think, Meg, you were really hitting a nail on the head where we're all being pulled to focus on some things, to look at what went wrong. Because you all know I've been reading Young, and I'm seeing it from like, it's like I can see him wandering around in the dark, but I can see what everything looks like. And so I'm like, oh, this is what you were talking about? And then I can see how everyone else went wrong. Like anyone who went in the opposite direction of him, not that he was the best, but he at least went in the correct direction. Everyone else was wrong. And then seeing like from then on to where we are now, how that has caught, like what that, the ramifications of that are. Whoa. Hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, this is the ing, like, oh, yeah, 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 I can see that. I can see this. I think yeah, I just wrote down, keep your eyes peeled. There's something, I was looking at their archetypes and stuff like that, and something said, keep your eyes peeled. It's about seeing it. Like there's gonna be a lot coming that we see, and it's almost like it's really obvious to us. Everybody else is kind of in the dark about it, but it's really obvious to us. And it's like keep your eyes peeled, as in don't look away because it's so obvious. You know what I mean? It's the thing where it's like, imagine if you had said nothing in this conversation, and because it just seemed really obvious. Oh wait, my scene. Oh wait, what? Oh wait, hold on. Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, there we go. Oh, I had to scroll through. Okay, let me see, John. Oh, psychology and alchemy. Ooh, wait a minute. Yeah, see what I'm saying? Like we all have it. Keep your eyes peeled. Me looking down at the desk. Ooh, okay. I'm gonna get this one. This will be my next one, Josh. Because after I read his autobiography, then I'm just gonna go into like the works, you know what I'm saying, and root around in there. I have to do that anyways because I'm part of a PhD project that I'm working on is like building tools for like alchemic consciousness that are translated for like it's one of the guy that I was talking to suggested that I look into working also with children educators and stuff while getting my PhD because you can work across different fields. And at first I was like, no, I don't want to, because pedagogy and children, it always goes hand in hand. But that probably is the place that I will go. But I'm essentially building out tools and stuff. I don't know what the end. I don't know what it all is. I just know where I'm starting. Hmm? Yeah, yeah, yeah. 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 Yeah, it's like they do, but it's not quite. Yeah, it's like it's not the quite that same spot, but it's like there is no other spot. Yeah, yeah. It's a weird moment, huh? Oh, that's lovely. Yeah, this is see what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? It's the telekinesis tapes all over again. No. Go ahead. Yeah. Please post the link. Mm-hmm. 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 Oh, is this the link, Josh? Did you post that? Let me see. Yes. Ooh, the blooms. Okay. Yeah, always feel free to post like any articles and stuff that you write, post and share because like, first of all, I like reading these things, but also, I mean like that's part of the society part. It's not promotion unless you're telling people, like for 10.99 you can get your magical elixir. And then the next day you're like, for 10.99, that's promotion in my mind. This isn't sharing articles that you've written and stuff like that, because you're just sharing thoughts on things. Please do. Ooh. Oh, let me not read this while we're talking. I will focus. I immediately went into like read. My bad, y'all. I'm so sorry. Ooh, okay. And this one's Guide to Portal. Ooh, I like this. Okay, copy. Let me put that in Google Chrome. Whoa, this is so cool. This is so cool. Is it like inverted and flipped? Oh, I like this. Ooh, I can see the face. I see many faces. Ooh. Ooh, I like it. Oh, that's so funny. I was talking about a forest god earlier today. I don't remember what the conversation was. My son was saying something cheeky, and I was like, "It's the forest god." And I was like, "If whatever the forest god wills is what is." And this is kind of what I imagined we were talking about, kind of. And no, we were talking about deer rampaging. Oh, we were talking about Sasquatch deer. I've seen one once before. It was like at least 10, almost 20 years ago now. I was walking my dog outside, and it was at middle of the night, and we have a lot of deer and stuff around, and they walk through the city and stuff. And my dog took off after one, but this one was on two legs. Like this figure was on two legs and it had antlers. And, obviously I was younger and I was like, I'm just seeing things. And, I had to call my dog back because, it was at night. He was just supposed to go out and use the bathroom. And then, he like stops before he crosses the street and then he comes back. And I was like, what the fuck was that? Forest god, god of the forest. And it's like this image reminds me of very much like there is a god in this forest. And whether or not you know you're in a forest because you've cut down all the trees doesn't mean the god goes away. That's I don't know why I just told you guys that, but that was the message from that entire encounter. Was it? Ooh, I'm gonna have to look. Ooh, it could have been this Coronis and then Wicker Man. Because it was a shadowy. Oh. Oh my god. I mean, it was standing like Wicker Man. I won't lie about that. I've seen those. Ooh, it might be Ceranos. It might be. I'm looking through some of these pictures and yeah, especially like the more shadowed that it gets. Could have been. I don't know. Yeah. Ooh. Ah, so much stuff is coming to the surface. Cross quarter day. Ooh, I don't know that. Oh. All right. Yes. So the Green Man, funny enough, that immediately made me think of the Green Book that I'm writing, which is, inverse to Carl Jung's Red Book. It's an ascent into the heaven. And then I'm looking at the Lunasa, and the figure for that, funny enough, is not something that I can apparently just easily find downloaded. Hurry up. Yeah. Oh, gosh. Apparently, it's not something that I can easily just copy and paste in here. Although, I know. Paste. Yeah. Yeah, to map quickly. Which makes me laughing. What's making me laugh as you say that is the fact that you talked about the Wicker Man. The photo of the Lunasa's figure that I just sent, like he's made in wheat, so he looks a bit wicker like. He's got two legs and he also has horns. It's a Wicker Man. It is. That's so wild. Between the four of us, we found the exact figure. Mm-hmm. That's so interesting. Parallels with the Greek tale of Persephone. Huh, look at that. Yep. Mm. Mhm. 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 Ooh. Actually, I've I've said that recently. About like I can't remember what it was, but yeah, I said something very similar. Not like what if it's about time, but I was saying it in reference to that just recently. So that's that's hilarious. I had made a reference to that. Yeah. No, no, I had said something like that. That was just in the house. Like, and I was like, yeah, no point in reinventing the wheel on that one. But I was talking about like constantly like, yeah, it was that's I'm telling you, this is all good stuff. Oh my god. Uh mhm. Mm-hmm. Ooh. Mm-hmm. Okay, so what drew me towards it, I don't even remember. I'm gonna be totally honest. I feel like I'm drawing a blank as to what happened before it landed in my lap, which is odd because normally I remember the origin of things. So I have no, I don't even think it was a TikTok video. I have no clue how I ended up. Oh, yes, I do. It was the same time I got the book on alchemy. There was a woman, she had a live. She does a lot of she draws. She was had a really rough childhood growing up, and she was put into like essentially a sanatorium, and so she just used to sing to herself and draw as a kid all the time. Because she used to listen to music a lot. So it was one of the ways that she could like really ground into herself. And so she does that as she channels, and she pulled it out to talk about something, and I was like, "Whoa, what is that?" And so I ordered a copy. My experience with it so far is it is like to the T. It's so specific. It's if the world is a stage, that is the director's playbook on scene, like setting the scene, what who comes on stage, how long they should be on there, when they're leaving, and how that leads into the next scene and the characters that go into it. It understands each and every single aspect of the world as a stage, and not from a place of control or manipulation, but through a lived sense. Like it really is an almanac in the lived sense. Like we exist on a machine. No, that's not the right word. It's like we exist in something that moves in cycles and is cyclical in the way that the cosmos is cyclical. And so there, and yet all of the frequencies are detailed out instead of just being mythic by design. It's like, no, this frequency is this as it moves through this channel and does this thing. um Man, I'm still very much. Uh-huh. Oh, no, I was almost done. I was just gonna say I'm still very much in the like messing around with it because it's big. Like it's one of those things where I have to sit down and I was working with it for like a week straight, just like every day I would sit, and that would be the thing that I would do in the morning is go through each and every single piece of what the day is and then watch the day play out, and then by the evening look and see, and it was always exactly the same. And if I had read beforehand and knew what I was looking for, it was the same. If I didn't read and I just looked at the end of the day, I could see my day in it. And I was like, holy shit. So it's very. Mhm. Ooh, thanks. Empathy. Yeah, it's great. I really went into it like, oh, okay, what are these people up to? And then I was like, oh my God, what are these people up to? Yeah, I mean, I was like, whoa. Yeah, I was like, whoa. Hmm. 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 Yeah, mine feels really primitive compared to this one. This one feels like it's glimpsing into your like you were glimpsing into the stardust in your soul, and it's intense. That's what I'm going to say. Is like mine you know what? If you've been doing my way for a while, this one is going to rock your socks off like for sure. Yeah. Yeah. I'm telling you. Yeah, I put the app in there too because it has an app that does like a lot of like this is legitimately rabbit holing down this is like one that has lots of treasures. Like this is one of those rabbit holes that's going to take up your like that's going it gives you like it's going to feed you dopamine for quite some time. Yeah, there's an app, Meg. There's an app. It's called 1320 Sync. We did. This is crazy. Holy shit, I do have to get a new one. It's July now, isn't it? Since I'm here. Um, yes, you're gonna that's crazy. Ooh. Ooh, and you're gonna have to tell us about it, because Josh, in Philadelphia, you have all this, you have all that information about what's going on in Philadelphia. You're gonna have to give us the download about what's going on in Oregon. Oh my goodness, because this is this one's wild. Oh, Meg, who did you say? What did you say the Alkalite's name was? What book are you reading? I think I got one that was called like Voyagers or something. This is a card. Hmm. Yeah. Oh no, I can hear her. Mm-hmm. Ooh, is that the red one? Ooh. Wait, say that one more time. The uninscribed. Oh. Yeah. 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 Oh my God. Yeah. As soon as you said that, that's what I was thinking about. Oh my goodness. Yeah. That's. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah. 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 Ooh. Mm. No. Yeah. 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 I see what you're saying. No, I see what you're kind of saying. I think I know what you're getting at. Ooh. y'all. Okay, so I got that book on Kindle because I was like, I want to see what this is. I mean, yeah, I do get eked out too about the whole like the Red Queen, like, the dogma aspect of it. I don't mind though peeping into like what people are up to in spaces, even if other people are being kind of weird. So obviously, I'm not going to suggest that everybody get it because I haven't read it, but I am definitely interested in this. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. 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 You get sucked right on in. Mm-hmm. 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 Oh, I'm going to end the Patreon recording really quick. I don't think anybody was there, right? Yeah. Okay. But yeah, yeah. But yeah, no, you get sucked right on into dogma. Absolute, like even I even had a moment while I was reading Carl Jung where I like had to put it down for a moment because he was talking about laymen. There's a moment where in his career where he's, interviewing somebody who wants to be a practitioner and they have to go through an analysis. And it was really clear that this guy was he was what Carl Jung described as a layman, somebody who did not go through any type of medical school. So he's off the street. So, like, what kind of learning does he have to practice this? And it's like, he's stuck between like the place where he's saying medicine isn't exactly what's necessary for someone to practice this, but this guy also has not practiced any of the tools that are necessary because he's was like about two breaths, two hair lengths away from a psychotic breakdown. He hadn't investigated his internal at all. And Young was saying that, it's not that laymen can't do this. He actually does encourage that laymen are able to practice psychoanalysis. However, by having a professional standing in the wing, that they can consult and stuff. And at a certain point, I almost like, I don't, it's like I got sucked into his world and I started arguing whether or not this was a healthy practice or not, because this guy wasn't just like somebody who wasn't practicing medicine. This guy was somebody who believed he could dig around in other people's heads without ever having dug around in his own head. Like this like this is going beyond like layman in some aspects. And I was starting to get like wrapped up in the history and all of it's hard to explain the pull that had on me. And then I had to because I almost was in his center of gravity looking at a situation of how do you bring spirituality into a place that he's standing in, and that question was so overwhelming that I had to put the book down because I was starting to get irritated, and I was like, this isn't my world. Like I had to yell that, like, this isn't my world. I don't have to question this. Like I'm in 2026 where the issue of this isn't that question. It's something totally different. And like that's even just that's what I would consider like a small pull, right? Something that sucks you into a question that's not really yours to answer, and you get overwhelmed by having to answer, and then it just spins you in a weird place or a weird quagmire. That happens so often in such small ways, I've noticed that just the sheer act of knowing what is your purpose here, who are you talking to, why, what are they telling you, and how can you stay grounded in that. Oh man, I didn't like I will say that, oh, here's another example that's I think even a better example. There's a group of people who are spiritualists, and they know that new age and Gaia, there's something wrong with it. They also prescribe to the idea that the moon is distorted, and that like certain gods are distorted because of how they've been passed down through history. But that's such a personal perspective. It's such a personal perspective because the person talking about it is someone who probably is in a culture where these distortions are happening inside of them because of their cultural connection. Not that the moon is a problem, not that gods are a problem, but their relationship with it is. And but the information that when people share this stuff, they're talking from a place of real fear and of truth, and that stuff resonates because from their perspective it is true, but it's not the truth. Man, anyways, those are my thoughts on that. I guess I'd have to say it's something that's been circling lately for me to like kind of talk about, because I've been noticing that the pull, especially into like conspiracy space and all of that, is heavy. It is heavy for a lot of people, and is real. Mhm. No, no, you're okay. You're okay. Oh, it's 10. We're probably all tired. I know. It's so good. It's so good. Ah, I know. I was like, maybe I should move book club over to like the later end of the month. And now I'm like, no, we should have book club on Tuesday. Maybe we'll have something else to say by then, too. Um, Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna let everybody go for the night. Thanks, guys. This is so fucking cool. Also, I'm super, super happy about Art Club because this was seeing your art, man. I mean, like, look how much stuff was uncovered. We're in. Hi, everybody. Yeah. Also, art club is supposed to be super casual. We're supposed to like, just pop in. Oh my god. But yeah, this has been really fucking awesome. I have so many notes that I wrote down too, and rabbit holes to go down. Man, I'm gonna tell you all, the image that's sticking with me is the face behind the veil, the face behind the cloth. I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna have something to say about a lot of this stuff here soon, especially the medieval history. That's going to come up again. Oh man. No, yeah. Anything you want to share, if you are ever so inclined, please do. Please do. Especially if you just are like, I think just go ahead and send that on through. You can paste it anywhere. Discord. You can email it to me. I don't care. I will just burrow it away. Oh, also before you go, Josh, I wanted to ask you about the young book that you had. I grabbed it really quick because I think I might end up reading most of his stuff. What would you say that one encompasses? Ooh. Ooh. Yeah. Ooh, okay. Yeah. That's a wild one. That's an image that's been coming up for me a lot. Okay. It's that crescent moon. Ooh. Ooh. Oh. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry, a Sonic Bible? Oh, Masonic. Oh, really? Oh, that's. I love it. Oh my god, I love it. Oh my god, I love it. I love it. Also, the fact that they claim. I know. I know. Ooh. That is a wild. I love it. I know. I know. I know it's such a, that's so juicy. Ooh. Oh, what was it? Oh, yeah. By the way, Josh, I'm gonna look at some of your. I know you sent me some stuff about your publishing spot. I'm gonna look into that, and I'm probably gonna end up knocking on the door soon. I've got Willow. I think that might be up your alley. We'll see. We'll see. Oh, I'm super excited. I don't know what. Oh, I probably want to pick your brain because I have, as far as where publishing is going, I think that like there's something huge. I can't quite see it and what that looks like and where it's headed and where it's going, but I keep wondering about what your thoughts are, since you've been up to it, because yeah. Mm-hmm. I was just talking about the agents before. I was like, yeah, you know, I just had a conversation about that. Oh man, yeah, yeah. Mm. I think that sounds lovely. I think that sounds amazing, and I'm putting that out there too. I'm so excited for you. Yes. Cause I'm telling you, when it comes like every time I was getting Willow ready to query because I let go of my previous agent. I just like she was really still in the old world in a lot of ways with a lot of fear, and I was like, man, in nothing on her. She's like it's legit. Like that whole world is falling apart and it's riddled. And I was like, I don't really know what to do moving forward because I don't really like. There's nothing there. It's like a corpse. But I was like, but I also don't feel like doing my own self-publishing and all of the stuff that goes into it. I just want the book out there. Like I just want the book out there. And I was like, what do I? And I just kept hearing silence. Like silence. Mm. Hmm. Yeah, that's what I kept getting. It's like something kept sitting in my lap and I was like, "But I don't know what this is." And it's like, ah, "Shh." And I'm like, "What do you mean shh?" And it's like, "It's not yours." "Ah, then why'd you put it in my lap?" And it's like it's just a holding space. So I think so. I think oh man, I have no thoughts on it, which is healthy because it means like, yeah, no, this is bigger than what I can digest on my own. So, this is exciting. Mhm. The mycelium takes over. Mhm. Oh, Wizard of Oz. Jeez. I feel like we're all going to remember this conversation at various points. This is so fun. Something's a cooking in the cauldron. Mhm. All right, everybody. I'm going to let you guys go. I know. Okay, I'll see you all on Tuesday if you guys come through for book club. We got first 12 chapters of Oz. Speaking of Oz. All right, good night, everybody. Ah, bye. Ah, so cool. So